So now we'll be starting with circular arrangement. Basically under ranking, up until now, if you've seen the sessions before, we have done a basic introduction where we went through two important theorems. I mean not theorems but formulae you could call them. I'll take you through those. After that we studied linear arrangement. Basically this comes under sitting arrangement. Now the last topic that you have under ranking is circular arrangement. Okay, this is just the last topic that you have. So here basically yeah, I'll just take you through the notes also in case you don't remember. Okay, this was where we started. These are the important formulae that I told you about that you need to definitely learn. And then we did a couple of examples, and then we started with sitting arrangement, which is of two types, linear and circular. And here we also studied linear arrangement. This is how it is, and then we did a couple of examples again, and then we now will be starting with circular arrangement. Okay, so in circular arrangement, basically you have persons or objects that are arranged around a circle on the basis of the information provided. Okay, so I mean this is pretty obvious, right? Circular arrangement means, you know, you can guess it would be people that are arranged around a circle. Okay, so that's I believe it is pretty obvious, and yeah, that's just what it is. Now in circular arrangement, just take a look at this figure. There are just two things that I want you to know. That is, one is this left right thing, which I will explain, and the second thing is clockwise anti-clockwise. Do you guys know what clockwise and anti-clockwise is? Basically when you navigate through a circle, you can go in two ways. You can either go like this or like this. I don't know if that's confusing. I'll just draw it here to show you. Basically, when you go through a circle, you can either go like this, okay, or you can go like this. This is the opposite direction, right? I mean, see, for everything, if it's a line, you can either go like this from here to here, or you can go like this from here to here, right? There are two ways. So similarly, in a circle, you can either go from here to here like this, or you can go like this from here to here. This is what I've drawn using the arrows. Okay, so now clockwise, this is what is called clockwise. How do you remember what is clockwise? Just think of how a clock is. Okay, an analogous clock. So I'll just show you. Basically, just keep a clock in mind. How does a clock move? If this is the minute hand and this is the hour hand of the clock, okay, how does a minute hand move? It goes like this, and then it goes here, 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 here, here. This is how the minute hand of the clock moves, right? Basically it starts from here, not exactly starts, but yeah, it moves like this. This is how a clock moves, and this direction is called clockwise. Okay, and the other direction is called anti-clockwise. Basically this direction is called anti-clockwise or anti-clockwise, however you would like to pronounce it. Okay, so this is clockwise and you have anti-clockwise. So these are two directions that you need to know when it comes to circular arrangement. What is clockwise and what is anti-clockwise? Okay, I mean this is not very useful or important when you do circular arrangement questions, but these are just like general concepts which will help you in a lot of things. Might not be particularly the intelligent subject for your entrance exams, but these are concepts that are useful to know what is clockwise, what is anti-clockwise. Okay, now another thing is to know left and right. So here if you have D, what is to the left of D is very easy, right? You know that this side is right, your right is the right, your left is the left. So you can say that this is the right of D and this is the left of D. But when you have something here, for example, if you take G here, how do you know what is to the left of G? You know, you might have to look at like this. So basically the thing is, left is what goes in the clockwise direction, clockwise, and right goes in the anti-clockwise direction. Now if that seems difficult, just think of it. Okay, if you want to find what is to the left of G, just think that you are standing here in this position facing towards the circle. Okay, you can stand in a lot of ways. If you're standing in this position, you can stand looking here or looking there or looking anywhere. Like, just think that you're standing facing towards the circle, right? So it would be for a G, it would be somewhere like something like this. All right, so basically you will be the G, as in you will be standing like this. So now where is your right? Your right is here, right? So basically this is your right. C is at your right. Your left is here. So basically B is at your left. So just imagine yourself in this position. This is all that you have to do. Like, okay, I'll draw your eyes here. Just imagine that you're at this position. So this will be your right and this will be your left, okay? So whatever is easy for you. For me, thinking of it in this way is easy. So whenever I need to find the right and left of a position, I just imagine myself standing at that position. Okay, and then I think of, okay, what will be my right and what will be my left. And also just make sure, one very important thing is that you need to make sure you're facing the circle, the center of the circle, okay? So here, don't be like, okay, I'm standing here. So this is my right. Wait one second. Yeah, so don't be like, you know, okay, this is my right and this is my left. No, this is actually wrong. You're right, this is wrong. Okay, because you're facing the center of the circle. You're standing looking at, just give me a second. Yeah. Right, so basically you are standing looking at the center of the circle, right? So here, if you're standing here and you're looking at the center of the circle, okay, I think there's just a lot of drawings here already. Okay, this is you. Now, if this is you, if this is your beautiful face, I'm sorry for drawing your face in such a bad way. But yeah, if this is you, basically, your right is to this part, right? Okay, this will be your right. How do you see your right? You stand from the back. So you look, if this is your head, if you have your face, it's, you usually see it from your back, right? So from here, your right is to this part and your left is to this part. Okay, so that's how you get it. Now, if that is confusing for you, just think of it in this way. Left is what goes clockwise. So if A is here, just think, how will you go clockwise from A? It is in this direction, right? That is the left. Now, anti-clockwise is right. So how will you go anti-clockwise from A? It's this direction, so this is the right. Similarly for anything, for H, how will you go clockwise? Like this. So this is the left of H. How will you go anti-clockwise? Like this. So this is the right of H. I mean, whatever is easy for you, whatever works for you, you can study it using that way, okay? So that's basically just what you need to know under circular arrangement. That being done, let's move on. And this is all you have as concepts under circular arrangement. That's all there is. Now, all we need to do is a couple of questions, okay? We have just, I mean, right now we'll just do 2 questions just to know whether you have gotten the gist of how these questions are like, and after that we'll have a separate example session where we'll discuss more questions, okay? 6 people are sitting in a circle. A is facing B, okay? So 6 people, so first we know this, so let's draw a circle, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how do you draw 5 and 6? That's confusing. I'll just, and that was a bad attempt at drawing a circle. I'll just do this again. First, let's draw a circle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, approximately a circle. Now, A is facing B. So just put A somewhere, make it face B. A is facing B. Now, what do we mean by facing? Basically, let me just go back to this image that we have. Here, what do we mean when we say that something is facing something else? Basically, the opposite one. So here, A is facing B. A is facing D. They are opposite to each other. Right? So basically, just think, if you're the ones, if you're sitting in a circle, the one that you see right in front of you is going to be the one that's sitting directly opposite to you, right? So that is the one that you will be facing. What does facing mean? The one that your face is turned towards. So if you sit straight, A will be facing D, E will be facing C, F will be facing B, and H will be facing G, right? That's how it works. So here you know that A is facing B. B is to the right of E. Now is where we need to know our concept of what is right and what is left. So what is the right? B is to the right of E. So basically B will come, E will come here, right? So because if this was B, we'll go by the anti-clockwise, clockwise, this, okay. So E, okay, what was right was anti-clockwise, right? So if you go E in the anti-clockwise direction, that's when you see the right. So the right of E is here, okay, that's B. So B is to the right of E and left of C. So C will come here, okay. If you want to check, you can check using the clockwise, anti-clockwise thing again. So left is using clockwise, that is this. So B is to the left of C. So the left of C means B, right? C is to the left of D, which is here. Again, just do the clockwise thing. So for D, what is, I mean, if you draw clockwise, if you go clockwise from D, you get to C, right? So that is the left of D, okay. F is to the right of A. So again, at A, draw an anti-clockwise arrow, okay. This is the anti-clockwise arrow. It goes towards this direction, and this is your F. So just draw an anti-clockwise arrow. This is where you have right, and this is where F. Now, who will be, so you have gotten your very beautiful figure. If you know to draw a circle, this would have been much more beautiful. I don't, I'm sorry. But yeah, who will be sitting to the left of D? So this is D. How do you find left? For left, okay, I'll just write it here. For left, you just draw a clockwise arrow. For right, you draw an anti-clockwise arrow. How many? My W is messed up. Just give me a second. Yeah. So for right, you draw an anti-clockwise arrow, okay. So basically, you go to D. How do you find the left of D? You draw a clockwise arrow. That is this. This gives you C. So who will be sitting to the left of D? C will be sitting to the left of D, okay. You're done with that. You have gotten the answer. Now the second question is actually from this concept itself. You need to find who will be sitting opposite to E, okay. It actually comes as part of this concept, right. So you need to find who is sitting opposite to E. That was the question, right? So here just look at E. Opposite, like I said, what do I mean by opposite? Basically what it faces. So here, what is the opposite to E? It's D. What is the opposite to A? F. What is the opposite to F? C. So basically, also if you were asked who sits facing E, the answer is D. Facing, opposite, all of these are the same, right? So here it can also be asked who sits facing E, the answer will be D. Who sits opposite to, or who sits facing, for all of these the answer is D, okay. So I mean that is for E in this particular case. So who sits facing B? A. Who sits facing C? F, okay. And that's how you have the figure here. And that's all you have for circular arrangement. So for circular arrangement, the only thing you need to know is this left right concept. Basically, you will have to know what is to the left of something. So either you can imagine yourself in the position of that person, and just one important thing is make sure that you are focused towards the center. Like, so see, if you imagine yourself at G, okay, say this is a circle and I am at the position G. I can be looking towards this away from the circle, or I can be looking towards the circle, right? It can be different ways. So make sure when you think of yourself in this position, you imagine yourself looking towards the circle and not away from the circle. Only then will you get the right position. Now if that is difficult, you can just think of left and right. So left and right using clockwise and anti-clockwise. So left is clockwise, right is anti-clockwise. How do you remember what is clockwise and anti-clockwise? Just think of how a clock moves. So a clock moves like this, right? So this is clockwise and the opposite of this is anti-clockwise. That's it. Okay, so that's all you have in this chapter. I'll just take you through a quick recap of what we have done until now. Under ranking, basically first we learned these two important formulae just to know the rank from the end, or like the total number of people in a row, things like that. And then we did a couple of questions, and then we learned sitting arrangement. Sitting arrangement is mainly of two types: linear arrangement, circular arrangement, and then we learned those arrangements in detail. For linear arrangement, we learned that the objects are required to be placed in a straight line, and for linear arrangement the concepts that you need to know are of extremes. Okay, you need to know the extreme concepts, the right end, the left end, the middle. Okay, these are the concepts you need to know under linear arrangement. And then we did a couple of questions. All these questions were, another important thing that we realized while doing questions is that sometimes you will get two possible cases. That's what I've mentioned here as first and second. You get two possible cases, and then so how do you figure out, and there will be two answers also. Here the answer was S, here the answer was P. How do you figure out what is the right answer? Just look at the options. In options we didn't even have S as an option, so you know P is the answer, right? So you can have many such cases where you have two answers and you have to figure it out. Okay, and then another case of ranking that we learned, and then we learned circular arrangement. So circular arrangement is what we studied here. Basically, they need to be arranged around a circle on the basis of the information provided. Okay, and so circular arrangement, these are the only two concepts that you need to know, left and right, and also facing. What is meant by facing and what is meant by opposite. Basically the same thing. D faces A, F faces B, E faces C, H faces G. That is also another thing that you need to know. And then we just did two questions on circular arrangement. This is all that there is in ranking. Ranking, I think, is a topic that different people see it at different difficulty levels. So based on how it is for you, if you have gotten all the concepts easily, good. If you haven't, completely all right, just do enough questions. Okay, and even if you have gotten the concepts easily, practice questions, right? But if you have not, give it priority and make sure to prioritize this topic amongst the others and when compared to the others. Okay, so that's it, we are done with ranking.